ReCAP. 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 Welcome to the Social Media Recap Show, brought to you by the Geeks at Blogging. Social Media Recap is a weekly look back at the changes in social media platforms, apps, and marketing. Recap. Thank you so much for tuning in. It has been 3 months since the Social Media Recap Show has been on. I'm normally joined by a co-host, Bronco, but he is in our office in Minturn, and I'm actually in our Front Range office in Greeley, Colorado. In fact, it is the 138th birthday for Colorado, so shout out just because I'm there. However, today I am joined by a very special guest, and I call her very special because she's been my best friend since I was about 16 years old, and I was nervous about starting this podcast up again for Mobloggy, and she really encouraged me to get it going again. So I told her, well, I'll do it again if you join me for the first one at the very least. So today I'm joined by a very special guest. Her name is Barb David, and she actually is in an industry where social media is really important and communication is really important. She is a senior manager for an association. You didn't want me to say your exact title, right, Barb?
Senior Manager Education for a National Trade Association. We will totally Wheel of Fortune it.
Okay, cool. And I'm going to share my Twitter account in the showcase. I'm going to share Barb's Google Plus page if you want to connect with us there. And then we already published the show notes, so if you wanted to follow along to get an idea of what we're going to be covering today, I will share that in the showcase as well. And you know what, Barb, we're just going to jump right into it, and I thought, how cool is it that Facebook went down on the first day that I'm starting the podcast again?
I thought that was crazy.
From what we saw, it was down for about 30 minutes, and really the result of it was lots of funny Twitter comments. Did you see any? Did you run to Twitter like I did, Barb?
Unfortunately, I'm working on budgets right now, so I have not been very active on social media today. I'm so sorry.
Well, you can follow the Mobloggy account on Twitter, twitter.com/Mobloggy, and we retweeted some of the funnier ones that we saw come across. But we want to cover social media platform updates. I want to keep anybody too long, but I want to give you some valuable information. And first on the list, of course, is Facebook. Quite a number of changes in this past week. They announced that they are getting rid of the GIFs app. Did you ever use that application within Facebook?
Well, yeah, I used to send you gifts all the time.
Through Facebook? I didn't realize. Did it?
Yeah.
I
sent you Starbucks stuff. You sent me Starbucks stuff.
Oh, yes.
I meant to send you stuff.
I'm really sad that the Facebook gifts is being taken away as of August 12th. Because I did use that as a total crutch for remembering people's birthdays and sending them nice surprises. However, Facebook is announcing that they're going to be adding a buy button. Haven't quite seen how that functionality is going to work, but it makes sense. They get rid of the gifts and they make it possible to buy. So I'm excited to see that roll out. One I knew you were complaining about yesterday, Barb, was the new Messenger app being forced upon us in Facebook. While it doesn't directly affect businesses, it could affect the amount of traffic that's coming to Facebook, because I know a lot of people were disturbed by it and immediately deleted their Facebook app.
Yeah, it's just crazy because in a way it's improved functionality because it provides that little icon on the outside. They call it like a pop-up bubble or something. So it improves, so I always know when I have an active conversation going, but it took me a while to realize how to get that bubble to go away, and you can actually adjust your settings so that it goes away too, so you never see that.
So my complaint about it is having to have two applications. It was great having your little messenger thing within the Facebook app. So from what I've read, their explanation is that Messenger it'll run better. It'll be a better experience for you if you're used to using the messages feature within Facebook.
Well, you can still get to it from the Facebook app. It still shows up as that little conversation bubble up at the top, but once you use it and start a new chat, then it pulls you outside it.
Ew. I didn't
Yeah.
download it. I'm being defiant until I'm absolutely forced to do it.
I know, I hated it. Okay, moving on.
One great thing that I think they did was they did add a save feature. I don't know if anybody's had an opportunity to use that yet, but the save feature in the app, I played with it last night. It's just a quick drop down and you hit save. I thought it was going to be a lot more convoluted than that. And then the cool thing, it will remind people who've saved stuff in the news feed that they've saved stuff. So it's almost as if you're remarketing. You're able to bring your content right back up in front of people. It only works on links, so links to pages, links to YouTube videos, and the like. You can't save status messages, and you can't save photos unless there's a link with it.
And remember yesterday I was complaining about it because I was like, oh my God, this is so stupid. But then I was trying to find something to tell you about. I was telling you the story and I was trying to find the link and I couldn't find it. And I was like, oh, maybe if the save feature was around then I would have saved it.
Well, and it comes back. It's a great marketing possibility for businesses that are on Facebook, that their content may last longer than the possible 10 seconds that it's in the feed. However, it comes down to people's habits. So if it'll only be a positive effect if people actually use it.
So are we going to start seeing the little arrows in the marketing things that say save here? Because it was a company page I was trying to save, or that I was trying to recall yesterday. So it'll be interesting to see how companies use it to remind people that they can save it instead of click like. It's like, right. Oh, you can like us, but if you really like us, you can save us.
Yeah, we'll be experimenting as well to see how we can help our clients with it. A couple other little small changes within Facebook, little design things. Your notifications, if you're in the U.S., there's a little globe that points to North America. So now if you're in other countries, they've actually turned it so it can be, their hemisphere can be seen on the little globe. And one other subtle change that I noticed, which doesn't affect company pages whatsoever, but it's something to look at. In your personal About page, that particular layout has changed subtly, at least for some of us. I looked at mine and it changed. Does it matter? No, not really. Twitter, though, because of design changes, has actually seen a positive effect. So maybe that's why Facebook has been experimenting so much. I read an article, and I'll share that in the showcase, that talks about how the engagement on Twitter has increased in the past year through the redesign by over 60%. So while their traffic still remains kind of, and new users is still kind of, engagement has increased for the better. I'm trying to look at the camera, but it looks like I'm just looking up. I'm going to just keep looking forward into space.
I know, I keep doing that too.
Anyhow, so that is a positive correlation for design changes. So maybe Facebook will fill the same turn. Pinterest, next update, they bought a startup called Icebergs. They're out of Spain, and they specialize in helping creative people collaborate on projects. So that's kind of what Pinterest does already when you share a board, but they're possibly going to be implementing some cooler functionality. And then last but not least, LinkedIn announced that they are launching something called Sales Navigator. I think I added that link. Oh, there's the Pinterest one, and there's the LinkedIn one in the showcase. Those links are also available via the Mobloggy blog at mobloggy.com/blog if you want access to those links. Let's see, app updates is next. Oh, I forgot to say what I wanted to say about Sales Navigator. It's really just another tool.
Say it.
I'm saying it. It's just another tool For LinkedIn, it's not within LinkedIn. It's actually a separate platform that works with LinkedIn. They claim that for sales professionals, there will be an up to 50% increase in sales if they use this particular app. We'll see how that measurement rings true.
Yeah, those are always kind of.
App updates. Quick links on that, and I'll share the quick images for those. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Facebook pages. There you can now see star ratings and reviews if you use the Facebook Pages app. Those are the ones that's the app that's completely dedicated to just the pages that you manage. So you can't see any personal Facebook stuff through the Facebook Pages app. LinkedIn design changes to their app, both for iPhone and iPad. I haven't seen updates for Android, but supposedly the look and feel will give you better functionality when it comes to editing your profile, and your, I guess, stuff about you is going to be seen easier through the app. Instagram and Twitter, just minor bug fixes and improvements, but one app improvement that stood out for me was Yelp. Do you ever use Yelp, Barb?
I do. Matter of fact, I'm going to the UK next week, and I was trying to figure out how much money I needed to take with me, so I went on Yelp to look up restaurants at the different price points to find out how much money, what the menu was like in comparable dollars. And yeah, we use it all the time here because we try to eat somewhere new every week.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Now I can. You froze there for a second.
You froze. No,
No,
it's you.
no, you.
Well, Yelp still remains very popular. We've all agreed that there are some little quirks and twerks there because some reviews are not great and they end up still getting bumped to the top of the list. However, Yelp still remains a major player when it comes to business reviews. One cool thing that they've added to the app now is you can actually add video. So you can add video snippets of any interactions that you're having. So if you are wanting to do a review that says this waitress was really bad or this establishment had flies or whatever, you can do video to prove your point and let everybody know that your observations are legit.
Are the businesses going to be able to disable that feature?
No, because it is a part of the app upgrade. So anybody can do the video feature.
Candid camera all the time.
Behind the kitchen door. So it could be a positive or an absolute negative for businesses. We'll see how that pans out.
Yeah, we'll see how long that stays as a live feature.
Exactly. And people too. Yeah, exactly. A live feature. People, showing their body parts and stuff. I can't imagine where that might go. We know what happened when video came out for Vine and for Instagram, all the silly things that people did. So we'll see how that works out for Yelp, but I thought it was an absolute fantastic improvement. So question of the day is, should brands abandon Facebook? So if you go to our blog, I'd love to hear your commentary on what you think. Also, you're welcome to comment on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/user/mobloggylive, and let us know what you think. I had an interesting exchange with my boss yesterday about how many times you should even bother posting on Facebook, and I came to a final conclusion in my mind about this, and everybody knows organic reach on Facebook has gone way, way down. But really, if you were engaging your customers before that formula changed, if you were getting likes and comments and shares before that formula changed, you can continue your regular habits. Carry on. Obviously, your content is quality enough that you don't have to worry about how many people are actually seeing your post because you're not affected. And those people who went from 300 people seeing your post down to 4 people seeing your post, really, be honest with yourself. odds are you didn't have the engagement to begin with. So how do you fix it, though? And that's really what people are going to start asking. Facebook, I believe, is just going to completely turn to pay to play. If you want to help your engagement, you're going to have to spend the $5 to boost those little posts to start getting people to notice you. That's the long and short of it. However, I firmly believe, and I know I'm on a soapbox here, I firmly believe that Facebook is still the cheapest. You're going to get your biggest bang for your buck, even if you're having to pay for Facebook advertising. And that's all I got to say about that.
Well, I'm trying to think about it, and I think it's more difficult for the new companies that are coming on and getting a new Facebook presence, or as you said, the ones who weren't doing a good enough job actually creating that relationship with their, with their client base or customer base or their potential customers, because there are companies that I've been tracking or that I pay attention to or that I follow or, read their posts, and I actually see more of them in my stream now because I pay more attention to them and less attention to the others. So the ones that I just clicked like because a friend wanted enough likes on their business page so they could get it approved or whatever, I don't see any of those anymore. So it's actually streamlined my own content, what I see. So I see more of what I want to see. And that's all I have to say about that.
So let's move into our last piece as our tip. So if you go to the blog, you'll see my little commentary on video. You had to have noticed that Facebook stream is now inundated by animated video. You don't have to listen to it. If you click, you'll actually get to hear the video. But Facebook is giving that some high ranking right now. So what does that tell you? You should post more video, at least in the interim, till Facebook changes their content again. So I came up with 4 tips. Keep it short and simple. The shorter the better. I would suggest aiming for 10 seconds because, let's be honest, people's attention span when they're on social media is almost as fast as they can scroll to the next item. So number 2, make it eye-catching. Wear or use bright colors. So if you're the person in front of the camera, if you want them to notice you in the stream as you're scrolling through, a nice happy smile or bright colors are really going to bring attention to it. Are you demonstrating, Barb?
Yes, I am. I'm being Urbana.
Orientation matters. I know this is a pet peeve for my boss. When you're using a smartphone, and I don't actually own a smartphone, only an iPad. But instead of having it vertical, flip it around to be horizontal. And so that's going to widen there. Thanks for the demonstration, Barb. That'll be a nice wide range versus that vertical look, which is going to completely block your video. And number 4, near or far. So we vote near. If you want to make sure that your mobile users, which nowadays make up the majority of the ways people access social platforms is through their mobile device. You want to make sure that they can tell what they're viewing. So Barbie and I's mugs are a little closer than normal.
Or far. I feel like Grover from Sesame Street.
Here?
Far.
Once again, thank you for the demonstration, Barb. I'm going to share one more link in the showcase, and that's to the latest monthly e-newsletter. Because I gotta do a little plug for my awesome company. We do Moblogging does social media and internet marketing for big and small worldwide. So I hope you will check out our latest e-newsletter, and you'll actually get a breakdown of all the details I just described in the tip, as well as some other fun little things that we put in there. Anyway, I don't know if Barb's going to be joining me next week.
Who knows? Tune in and find out.
I appreciate you tuning in, and I promise to keep them under 20 minutes every week. I'll be here next Friday at 1 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, 3
p.m. Eastern Time.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Noon Pacific, 2 Central, and if you're tuning in from another country, I apologize for not knowing your time zone. But I know you'd figure that out. Thanks so much for tuning in. Barb, thank you so much.
It's my pleasure to be here. This was fun.
All right. Take care.
Bye.